You are watching Blessing Today Legacy Talks.
Welcome to the Blessing Today Legacy Talks. In this series, I am bringing to you about the power of prayer and the effects that prayer has over our lives and how it influences the world through us. In the book of Daniel, King Nebuchadnezzar had a dream. What he did is, as usual, he called up all the people in his court. He called the people who deal with witchcraft and the spiritism, the Chaldeans. He called all of them and he shared this dream to them and said, I want an answer. But what happens in chapter 2? We read, these people, they come back to the king and say, we do not have a solution. We do not have an answer to this. How did these people end up saying, we don't have an answer? Till yesterday, these people said, we rule the world, we control everything, we know everything. That's why they are in the court. They are experienced people in all the realms of whatever they are involved in. But today they say, we do not have an answer. Till yesterday they said, we control gods, we control this world. But today they have failed. They say, we don't have an answer. Only God can give an answer. How did they fail today? Till yesterday they were saying that they control everything. But today what happened? They failed. Do you know why they failed? You ask the man who controls the witchcraft, why did you fail? They would say, I don't know. You ask the man who does the spiritism, why did you fail? He would say, I do not know. I don't have an answer. None of these people had an answer. They did not know why they failed. But I know the reason that they failed. I know why they failed. They failed because of one reason. They failed because there was a man named Daniel who was praying for the land. When Daniel began to pray for the land, when Daniel began to pray for Babylon, what happened is all the powers of spiritism, all the powers of witchcraft, and all the powers of idolatry began to fail. When one man or woman begins to pray, things begin to change in the world. Things begin to change in the land when a man of God begins to pray. Daniel was alone. He prayed for Babylon, and the powers of darkness in Babylon began to fail. When you begin to pray for the nation, when you begin to pray for your city, when you begin to pray for your town or your locality where you live, things will begin to change because there is power in prayer. And there is power in prayer when a man of God begins to pray or when a woman of God begins to pray. Daniel prayed and all those evil forces began to fail. Another example I want to bring to you is from 1 Kings chapter 17 verse 1. Elijah, he talks to the king Ahab and he says, it will not rain. What boldness does this man have? The king Ahab might have thought, what are you talking about? Don't you know who I am? Don't you know I'm the king of Israel? Don't you know I'm the commander of the armed forces? Elijah replies, probably says, you might be the king, but I have the authority. You might be the king, you might be the commander, but I am a man of God and everything works according to my command. Because Elijah knew that there was power in prayer. When he prayed, when he seeked God, he knew that God answered his prayer. That's a boldness that Elijah carried. Let me encourage you. Let me tell you this day that there is power in prayer and there is power when you speak. There is power when you speak in authority. Elijah says, it will not rain, and it did not rain. Whatever you speak will come to pass. Whatever you speak shall be fulfilled because you are a man of God and you carry the authority of God. Begin to understand, begin to realize that you are a man of authority. Begin to realize that you are a woman of authority. And when you speak, when you talk, when you boldly confess, it shall come to pass. There is power in your words. There is power in your prayer. Begin to exercise your authority. The darkness shall begin to fail. Like in the days of Daniel, those witchcraft, those spiritism, those Chaldeans, those powers will begin to fail when you begin to pray. Let me encourage you. Some of you, when you begin to pray, great things are going to happen. When some of you begin to pray, God is going to do amazing things. God is going to do amazing things, things that have never happened in a lifetime is going to happen when you pray because you carry the power and authority of God. Begin to use your authority. begin to pray for the nation, begin to pray for the land, and you will see God doing great things through your prayers. God bless you.
Join us next week for a new episode of Blessing Today Legacy Talks. Subscribe to Damien Antony YouTube channel right now